Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast on this Wednesday afternoon. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Greg Braggs Jr. How we feeling?
Feeling great, Adam. Feeling great. I've had a great morning. How are you feeling?
I'm not feeling great with what's going on this set.
Why?
What's your problem?
Well, do we want to get into it?
Yeah, we want to get into
before Baldy
it.
gets here. I mean,
You can do whatever you want.
Adam
Braggs. It's your show.
puts in the slack. Thank you. You're in my world now, Grandma. Adam puts in slack yesterday.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, we need the Packers to win. True. Very true.
It's true.
Pack, go.
Then he puts in slack. We should all wear Packers colors tomorrow. You want to tell them what I said to you?
I think you just said.
I said I fucking refuse. These two jamokes over here are wearing in honor of the Green Bay Packers, who we need to win. We'll get into it here after we talk to Baldy. Thought it would be a great idea for all of us to wear Packers, and I saved their asses by representing the orange and navy.
Nope.
When the Panthers
Chicago
beat the
Bears.
Packers on Sunday, we'll know who to blame.
Well, who's the jinx on this show? You or me? That's you.
Listen,
you're the
Am I?
jinx. Yeah, you're the jinx.
Okay.
Nobody panders to Bears fans better than you. I will always wear Bears gear. I will put these two
Nobody
out there.
pisses Bears fans off more than you.
That's not true.
That is true.
I can think.
That's not true.
That's not true. I got.
That's
a couple
100%.
I'm number one, huh?
There's a
No.
ranking.
Yeah. What's the ranking?
Wiederer holds the throne.
Thank
Fine.
you. Done. We don't need. I don't care
Not
what.
even-
Shot up
Okay.
the charts though. You're moving up high up.
Good.
there.
That's good. For those who don't understand me, I'm offering individual lunches throughout the holiday season. So feel free, Pistola, wherever you are.
All right, let's bring in Brian Baldinger to the conversation. Baldy, there was first of all, welcome in. Merry Christmas in advance. There was a moment on Sunday when the Bears were winning by 2 possessions, and we all had dreams of playoffs, and now we're right back here. We're talking about how important it is for the Packers, of all teams, to beat the Panthers this week, just so the Bears can still get the number 1 pick. It's amazing how quickly it all changed.
Don't you finish the season in Green Bay?
Yes.
Maybe you'll finish on a 3-game win streak and take care of the Packers, knock them out of the playoffs.
Hey, there's still what is it, Braggs? 8% chance?
There's an 8% chance
If they win out.
There's
They win out.
Never over. It's never over till the fat lady sings.
there's
We've been saying
one-
that our whole life.
there's 1,837 different scenarios in which the Bears can still make the playoffs.
If they win out.
Okay. All right. That sounds like pretty good odds to me.
I like it.
See, Braggs just like leaves out the if they win out though. They have to win their 3, Baldy, and then they
of
have.
course, that's going to happen.
And well,
That's kind of understood.
No, there's
Shouldn't the Bears be favored in all 3 games?
no.
The next 2, yes, I doubt they'll be favored in Green Bay. You think they'd be favored?
I mean, I think defensively they're playing really good football outside of the last 3 minutes last week. I think that they keep the score down in all these games, have a chance.
Well, yeah. What? Just give us your general takeaways from that game against the Browns.
I mean,
'cause,
look, they did. They completely controlled the game, for the most part until the last 3 minutes. Like, I mean, look, Amari Cooper goes 51 yards. You like to get him out of bounds. You like to stop, not let that happen. But, I mean, I saw Tyreek Stevenson, intercept one at the goal line. They made one big play after another. Flacco was like having nightmares on the sideline. They couldn't protect him. I thought, they're going against, I think, easily a top 5 defense, if not the best defense in football. That's a tough assignment, dealing with Miles and dealing with man pressure and man-to-man coverage as good as anybody in this business. That's a tough day for any offense. I mean, just go look at Brock Purdy, what he did against that defense, or Joe Burrow. I mean, all these guys struggle against that defense. So I'm not knocking, Justin Fields. He made a lot of good plays in that game. They had a chance to catch that Hail Mary pass to win the game. I mean, it was right there for Darnell Mooney. It was right in his hands. I mean, that would have been, you guys would be talking about that right now if he come up with that catch. But I thought they played good. I like watching them play. I mean, this was a sorry-ass team, the first month of the season. But I like watching this team play now. And all phases of it. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, but when you're Ryan Poles and you're evaluating this now at the end of the year, and let's say they did win the last 3 games, be the most extreme, 8 wins. Like, are you Ryan Poles and you're saying, okay, this is a successful season? Or are you still looking back at those games they should have had, that they had a 99% chance of winning and they blew it because of situational play calling in a lot of ways?
Let me rephrase this, what he just said, Baldy, on one part of it. Like, so for it gets successful, like, do you see enough progress, right? Like that, like, are you going to look like this is a progress-oriented year that, hey, I'm sticking with this crew?
Well, I mean, those decisions, that's, you got to play it all the way out before you start making those decisions. I understand the conversation. I get it. It's that time of the year in a lot of places. I like the progress. The progress is real. There was a time when we questioned when, Flus was talking about progress and they weren't winning any games. And, that was fair. But I feel like everybody can see the progress in this team. And I think it would be a mistake to pull the plug at this point. But, if they collapse down the stretch like they did in the last 3 minutes Sunday, then that's a different conversation. So that's why I want to kind of see the next 3. But there's progress, and they've upgraded the roster in a lot of spots. And those young kids are all playing, and they're all getting playing time. So, sometimes you give these rookies a redshirt year, and sometimes you got to play them, and they're playing them. And, Stevenson is improving, and throughout the whole group. I mean, it's a good rookie class, I think.
So I don't think there's any question. I mean, defensively, yes, there's progress. I think the thing I'm struggling with, and Baldy, I get it. Like, every team is going to play worse offensively against the best defenses in football. I get that. But that being said, like, I'm not sure progress has been linear offensively this year because, yes, they're horrible against the Chiefs earlier in the year, offense and defense, but offense, that was one of the best defenses they faced. Just a couple weeks ago against the Vikings, yes, they won that game. They didn't score a touchdown in that game. Okay, and Sunday, the only offensive touchdown they scored, they got the ball at the 1-yard line, and it took them 8 plays to get into the end zone and took Justin Fields to do something crazy and escape the grass of Myles Garrett, and he's probably the only quarterback in the league that could have done that and made that play. It's just, I guess I'm just not seeing it offensively enough. It's been way too choppy.
I agree with that, but I'm watching the receiving core against these 3 corners of Cleveland. I don't see anybody winning. Like, maybe they got to upgrade the receivers. I mean, if you can't beat man coverage, then go get a new receiver. Like, I don't see Darnell Mooney beating anybody. DJ has good games, but, when he goes up against Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson, I don't see him winning. Like, at some point, your receivers got to win, and so I'm not absolving Justin or any part of the offense, the play calling of Luke Getsy or anything. Well, your receivers got to win. And I don't see enough of that against elite defenses right now.
So that is interesting.
Just to be fair to DJ, though, I think, going back watching film, I think DJ was like 60% in that game.
That's fair.
That's fair, too.
Look, I'm not here to, rip DJ Moore or anybody else. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what his health issue is or anybody's. I mean, I don't pay attention to those reports. But look, a lot of these guys are beat up at this time of the year. It's just the fact of playing in this league.
Baldy, don't sell yourself short. I actually, one of the questions I want to ask you, I do not understand how you know as much as you know about all the teams that you talk about. I'm like amazed by it.
You're an insane person.
I don't know.
No, honestly, look, I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but I'm like, literally, I've watched every game. I'm sitting here like 15 hours on Monday and Tuesday. I'm not leaving this place, maybe to get something to eat. But other than that, so you know what it is? It's like, you guys eat salads or you guys don't eat salads? I don't know. Like,
I love a good
two
salad.
of us do. The guy
I eat nothing but steak
every
day.
I don't eat vegetables or fruits or anything either.
Yeah.
But I would say the analogy is, Like you start week 1, and it's like a fresh salad. And every week, you just add new ingredients to it because it all changes. Personnel changes. Coaches get fired. Coaches get run out of the building. I'm not saying that happened in Chicago or anything, but all that stuff happens. And it changes. And so you just have to stay up on top of it. And then, pretty soon you have like perspective on some of this stuff. And you can see development. And you can see, okay, you make a trade and get Montez Sweat. They look a whole lot better with Montez Sweat in the lineup than they did before he was in the lineup. And so you just keep adding ingredients every week just to keep the salad as fresh as possible.
So I'm glad you just brought that up. Like, you gain perspective. You're gaining all this perspective because you're watching all these games. So last week, we didn't get a chance to talk to you, but I was really excited to talk to you about Brock Purdy because you were in San Francisco last week. You saw that game he had. So I actually went back and I watched the tape of that game, hoping to gain some perspective on like maybe what's missing here with Justin Fields and why it's working so well. I'm talking strictly from a passing perspective, right? And what Brock's doing so well. So I got to see that by going through the film, and I'm just like came away really impressed. And like this MVP conversation is legitimate for him. His timing, his rhythm, the accuracy, the anticipation. What is it that you got to see up close in person with Brock? This was now about a week and a half ago.
Well, I used to do Big 12 games every Saturday for Fox, and I did a lot of Iowa State games when he was there. And I didn't predict this success. I mean, he was a very good player at Iowa State. The coach was Matt Campbell, was a great coach, and they were legitimate contenders in the Big 12 with them. But I didn't see this happen. But all you have to do is just talk to his players. Talk to Debo. Talk to Fred Warner, sees it every day in practice. Talk to Kittle or McCaffrey. They all swear by this guy. But just forget about all that. Just I've watched every game, and nobody sees the field like he does. No, Mahomes, maybe Lamar some days. Like, he sees everything. And then he just has this ability as he's getting the ball from the center, as he's dropping back, to literally go through any progression he needs. If the receiver number 1 is open, the ball's gone. But if it's not, or he's got an occluded vision, or somebody's in his face, or he's being chased, okay. Like, he just can reset his eyes and make every single throw. And oh, by the way, every time you see Kittle catch a pass, he never gets tackled. He's always running with it because the ball's so perfectly placed. It's the accuracy, it's the eyes, it's the anticipation, it's the dangerous throws in the middle of the field that you got to layer over outstretched arms of guys as tall as Tremaine Edmonds. It's all that. And then, oh, by the way, you can talk to him down the field before the game. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to him about like this ice cream parlor in Ames, Iowa. And he was just telling me like, what his favorite cone was. Like, the guy's not like amped up and got his headphones on. He's just like this regular dude down there in the field feeling zero pressure because he's already knows all the answers to the test.
So that's just super interesting when you just all of that. But at the start of it, you said the only guy that maybe sees the field better is Patrick Mahomes. Yet here he was the last pick of the NFL draft. And I'm trying to figure out, just looking back on it, why, Baldy. Like, he's 6'1", he's not 6'4". Okay, I get that. But, like, what do you think that they absolutely slept on looking back at it?
Well, unfortunately, all these quarterbacks in a lot of positions are labeled. Ohio State quarterbacks, they can't play in the NFL. You come out of Iowa State, they don't have any quarterbacks that play. It's a Big 12 offense. It's just it's just air raid offense. They only play this 3-3 double cloud defense in the Big 12. Like, you just get labeled, and then you go, okay, let's go back and watch against the good teams in the Big 12. Let's watch them against Oklahoma. All right, I mean, like sort of like what some people did with Mahomes, and then you just start picking them apart. Oh, he's too short. He's not fast enough. Is he an elite athlete? They can't project because every position, especially the quarterback position, is a projection because college football is so different than the NFL. So every position is projected. And then they just fall in love with, okay, Zach Wilson has a pro day at BYU. And like, oh, his arm looks like Patrick Mahomes. Like, the kid started 47 games at Iowa State. That's a lot of football. A lot of bad weather games in Ames, Iowa, and up there in the Big Ten country. And then he was highly recruited coming out of Arizona, right outside of Phoenix. But like he was a highly recruited player. And, Iowa State said, you have a chance to compete right away as a freshman. And so he went there and he had a good coach. And so they just don't look at the right things. And just the intelligence factor, how does a guy go through progressions? What's he actually see? Like, it's a conundrum that I don't think we're ever going to get figured out. Because if we did, nobody would ever draft Bryce Young over C.J. Stroud. Never. But we did, or they did.
So then there's Caleb Williams this year. And he just seems to be like the complete opposite, and then he checks all the boxes and no one's missing anything here. I know you, and we're going to talk about him a little bit later on in the show, because I actually last night went back and watched his first ever game when he was still at Oklahoma. Not his first ever game, but that was like really when he took over as the starter. Mid-game.
It was the Red River shootout against Texas.
Yeah, they're down 28-7. Spencer Rattler's playing horrible. And
Wes Johnson was jumping right through the TV that day, man. Like he was just like all over.
It was crazy. They come all the way back and win. I know you know him. I know you have a relationship with Caleb that goes back to high school. What should we know about him? Because I know we're already at the point where people are trying to poke holes in him. They're mad he didn't talk to the media after the UCLA game. He cried after the other game. Like, what do we need to know about Caleb Williams that's real?
Well, when I met him, I think he was 16 or 17. I remember I was doing this. We were doing this quarterback collective high school football camp. It was the best quarterbacks in the country were all there. So I set up a film room, and I just took plays of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, and and I put them up there, and I just had the quarterbacks. The guy that just won the Heisman Trophy was in there. I mean, I just put them up against basic coverages. How do you attack the coverages? What would you do? What's the progression here? And just let them tell me what they see. And Caleb was off the charts good. Like it was just like reading a Dr. Seuss book. Like he knew it. And then you watched him play. You go, he was bigger than Russell Wilson, but his arm was just as strong, if not stronger. And then he just had a maturity about him, like a real maturity, like not cocky or a prima donna, nothing like that. Just very sure about the game and what he has to do to be good at the game, whatever. But there's still a part of me that says we're not going to get this. We might not get this evaluation right unless he's Mahomes. There's a part of me, because that's the comparison, and I get it, and I see the plays, and I remember Patrick at Texas Tech and some of the things that he would do in those games, which he now does in the NFL, and it transferred when everybody else said, "Well, those mechanics stink. You can't play quarterback in the NFL like that." Except Andy Reid thought you could. So I think part of it is I hope he gets with the right group. Like, Andy Reid with Mahomes. If Mahomes was somebody else, I don't know if it would be as good. So I just hope he gets with the right group, the right coach, and a team that knows how to build around a quarterback.
So, okay, and that's never been Chicago, but maybe it will be in the future. Who knows what the offseason looks like. But if he's coming here, Baldy, he's going to be replacing a very popular guy in the locker room, a guy that the fan base will want to jump on if he's bad. See, you should never move down from Justin. I mean, do you see him as somebody who could handle the amount of heat that potentially would come in Chicago if he didn't start out fast?
I don't know. Like, that's a wiring that is hard to figure out. I mean, I'd like to answer the question because it's a good one. It's one that you should ask. But I don't know. Like, right now, I live in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts was the MVP of the league last year until the Bears broke his shoulder in Week 16. And now everybody's questioning, why would you give this guy the money? And now we'll see how he responds. So you never know until the weight is on your shoulders and you respond. Patrick Mahomes took over for a very successful, likable guy in Alex Smith. Took him to the playoffs. Nobody's ever met Alex Smith, doesn't respect him, like him, all that. Mahomes is just a better player. It worked out. But so he never got to that conversation that you're asking. And I'm just citing that one example. I don't know if he comes out and he struggles early, whether it's with Flus and Getsy or it's somebody else, who knows. I don't know how he's going to respond because he's never not had success.
If I let's have fun with this. If I told you that week 1 of next year, the head coach of the Chicago Bears is Jim Harbaugh, the starting quarterback is Caleb Williams, how excited are you for whoever they're playing in that? I mean, how much is Baldy begging to be on that game?
The Bears against the Super Bowl champ 49ers, first game.
Let's go.
Like I'm pushing all my chips on Harbaugh. I just love Harbaugh. I just love the guy. You know.
Well,
we don't do Harbaugh things.
Yeah.
We're not getting Harbaugh.
I'm thinking like Kevin Warren's talking big. He's talking championships.
Yeah, okay.
Dream big. Why not? Why not Jim Harbaugh and Caleb Williams? Take this Bears franchise.
Well, I say this. Like, I don't know where the conversation is, and I'm not a reporter. I don't snoop. I don't really care. I don't even listen to it. But if they win a national championship, it's only going to get ratcheted up. Because, like, what else is there? I mean, all the conversation. What else is there to do at Michigan? All the rules have changed. They've already tried to, run you out of town for some silly thing that went on. Whatever. Like, they're all going to do all that stuff. Like, he was very close to Minnesota, and he wanted that job. They went in a different direction, but he wanted that job. So I don't believe, like, his yearning to get back to the NFL and win a Super Bowl, especially if you win a national championship, is ever going to go away.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been my dream for a while. For even when they hired Matt Eberflus, I wanted Jim Harbaugh here. But in reality, if they are to win a few more games here, the Bears that being here the rest of the way, I think it's most likely that Matt Eberflus stays. Can we, as Bears fans, trust? Because I think their biggest issue is coaching-wise, there's improvement. There's improvement defensively, leaps and bounds. The offensive line, even on the other side of the ball, developing in a positive way. But the situational play calling, and it was on full display on 3rd and 15 with Matt Eberflus having Justin Jones guard a tight end. That's bad. So is that something that he can get better at? Because that's my biggest concern about these coaches.
Well, I hope so, because that was a horrible call. And I'll bet, I hope he didn't sleep at night on that call. It made no sense. They didn't need to do that. The front four dominated the game. Like, they didn't need to do anything exotic, fancy, dropping a defensive tackle into coverage, and here comes Njoku again. Like, it was just a horrible call. Now, so I don't know. Like, right now, Kyle Shanahan still lives with some of the decisions he's made in some Super Bowl games and he doesn't have a Super Bowl ring. And so that travels with him, and he knows it. Like, he doesn't really speak about it, but it's in the back of his mind. So your question is great, because I when I watched the play, I was just trying to figure out what in the world were they thinking. Like, what was he thinking? 3rd and 15, like, give him 10 yards. They still can't kick the field goal. Right. Like, nothing about that call made sense.
It was crazy.
So Baldy, look, the Bears have played hard all year, and maybe they'll continue to do that because they're professionals, regardless of who's coaching the team. And I'm not saying they're not playing, there's some huge issue with Matt Eberflus. But one way in which you can lose the team, I would think, is to say things like the Amari Cooper play. Flus said to the media, "Well, that ball should have been picked, and we need to do this better and that better." And then he owned that he shouldn't have made the call that he made on the 3rd and 15 play. But you got guys in the locker room who are saying, like, as Justin Jones is talking to the media, DeMarcus Walker's next to him saying, "That's not on you." They're literally openly talking about the coaching, and that loss and effectively basically ended their season. So I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way in which Flus could have lost the team, which you can't necessarily answer. But wouldn't you think that if you get up there and say we should have had a pick there, and yes, you own this, and sort of like just saying the same stuff now, our eyes need to be forward and this and that, and it's really not understanding your locker room is one way which you could lose the team? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out. I don't really listen to a lot of the press conferences, but like, they've got 18 interceptions. They're second in San Francisco. Like, they're picking the ball off. I mean, they had 3. Do you want 4? Do you need 5? Like, Stevenson could have had 2 in a game. Like, you can't always make these plays. Like, sometimes Amari Cooper's an elite player. Like, I mean, Flacco made a great throw. Like, I wouldn't want to put my players in a position where they got to, answer these questions that you just threw out there. Like, there's a part that says you got to have a better command of how this whole thing works. This stuff is like, if DeMarcus is saying this next to Justin, and it's already getting back to him like, you got to make that play when you drop into coverage. Like, it's just like that's, you got to, part of you. Like, I remember when Andy Reid came to Philly, and I met him like the first day he got signed. And I don't think Andy needed help with this, but I just told him. I said, don't give in 1 second to the media, Andy. They're going to, like, as soon as you give in, they're just going to, like, jump all over you. Like, just stand up there and just say basic stuff. You don't have to say anything, actually, but just give them whatever answer you want to give them. But it could be, but don't give them anything where it gets back to the locker room. And now the players are questioning it. Like, that's just not good PR.
Yep. Baldy, last thing I have for you. You were in Nashville on Sunday, right?
Yes, I was.
What did you think about the Titans wearing Oilers uniforms against Houston?
It was – I kind of got it. Like, I saw Billy White Shoes Johnson, and he's wearing You Love Your Blues. It was just a weird thing because Houston's in Houston, and they're honoring Houston players in Nashville for the Titans. It was confusing. I see Mike Vrabel, who's got his 10-gallon hat on to honor Bump Phillips. I understand the connection between the teams, but I don't know, to paint an oil derrick in the middle of the field in Nashville honoring the Houston team, I was confused by it.
Yeah. Is it as confusing as these guys wearing Packer green in honor of we need the Packers to beat the Panthers for the first round pick? That's what they're doing today, Baldy.
Look, they got to get the number.
As a Bear fan, you never cheer for the Packers ever, under any circumstances. Let them screw it up on their own, but don't give them any sort of extra mojo to get it done. Wow. Like, that's how I would approach it. Wow. Like, I think you should hate the Packers till you die, under every circumstance.
I mean, we're just wearing green sweatshirts. I don't know.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It looks like go Packers go to me.
He put in the Slack yesterday, we're all going to wear Packer green because we're rooting for the Packers this week. I told Baldy, I told him, I was like, I refuse.
Look, it's not like I did anything crazy like bring a cheese head or anything to the show. I mean, we didn't do anything weird like that, Baldy. Come on.
No way. There's no way this is on our set right now.
Put it on your head. I'll wear it.
Oh, man. Right next to your stripe, you can do that.
Holy
Don't do that.
Baldy.
What are we doing?
We're trolling you is what we're doing. Baldy, we appreciate you.
No.
Thank you so much for jumping on with us again.
Baldy, before I know everything just ended, but I just want to let you know we talked about pigeons yesterday on the show yesterday. Flipping into a good pigeon. It was we were going to make you do it, but we'll save it for next week.
All right, save it for next week, guys. Merry Christmas. Have a good holiday, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Baldy. Oh my God.
We killed Braggs.
Hold on, sorry.
That was amazing timing.
Get this off
this thing is
the
there
screen.
We go.
Not Baldy.
Yeah, that
Get you
what
up.
the hell? I am.
Lawrence, don't you have something for Braggs right now?
Do I have something for Braggs?
I thought you did.
What are you talking about?
I just don't understand that.
That's what was on.
He
That's
was
why
already up there. You
this?
Oh, there it is.
Oh, I missed that.
Here, Carm, you can have one too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's move that a little bit here. I can move that up a
What
little bit further.
is
What's
this? This is get it away from me.
For the podcast listeners, Lawrence is putting
Put it on his
superimposing
chair.
cheese heads on our heads while we're doing the show.
Stand back here. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
You can't. They can't hear you back there.
And I
Sadly, we can actually.
and again to explain to the podcast listeners, I brought an actual cheese head today, which is why Greg is losing his mind. So for those that can't see what's going on,
What is your favorite cheese, by the way?
Oh my God. Provolone. Get it?
Provolone is such a bad answer.
I'm just confused. You said nothing matters more than getting the number one pick.
Do you want to talk
So
about
you
this?
have to root for the Packers this week.
Okay. Do you want to go into this now, or do you want to?
No, let's do a break, and then I don't
Then
know
we'll
what.
talk about this because there's layers to it.
There's
Not
layers.
a break. It is
like
We're gonna
embrace our
say
sponsors.
hi to our friends.
Yes, correct. Stop calling it a break. There is no break in the show. We're not going anywhere. We're right here.
Oh, I'm gonna break off something real quick. You bust out that cheese head again.
Break off something real quick.
Provolone.
Unbelievable.
Why would you pick the most boring cheese? Provolone.
It was a terrible call.
Give me like some Gouda or
You don't even know prolone's on the sandwich.
Gorgonzola.
Get some teeth to your life. Enough with this Cheetos and whatever you eat over there.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. The easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. Just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on a 2 to 6 player stat projection and watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks is the most fun you can have, winning up to 25 times your money this basketball season. All you got to do is select two or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Just like that. And then you watch the results, see if you're a winner, and Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. So that's key for football and basketball games. If you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. That's huge. It's really simple to play. You can make your picks, submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. So go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
It's getting easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles. This is something that we can all get behind,
Yes.
Gregory. It's for the health of the planet and for the well-being of all of us who share it.
That's right, Carm. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs as we all move forward with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
So, Greg, business owners that are listening right now that are thinking, this is interesting, what should they do?
Well, you should go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, don't wait. Start making your plan today to switch to electric vehicles. Good for business, good for the planet, good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
Did you just say ComEd.com/clean?
Yes, I did. Go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
See, it's good. He's reading off this computer. He can't see the cheese head I've just put on his
Dude,
head.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Get that off the screen. You guys are a goddamn curse. I have been embarrassed many times here on this show by the things that Carm says, but never more embarrassed for anything we've ever done than in this moment. Jake Flanagan is going to fire all of us, and I will not blame him one bit, and I will be laying bricks tomorrow.
No one's getting fired.
You're talking to the boss that has – look at his wall back there. You're playing with fire. I would encourage him to fire us.
The wall back there is truly amazing, and the only thing that's missing right now is Jake in his seat because he's doing upper-level meetings talking about how amazing the show is to everybody because he loves us so much. And I don't care what you say, Braggs. He loves that there's a cheese head on your hat right now.
He doesn't.
He does.
I promise.
But I think it's time to bring in the guy who asked the first question to Matt Eberflus today, isn't it, Adam?
Whoa. First question, Nick?
Nick firing today. Number one, out of the gates, our leadoff man.
I thought it was a bold question. Nicholas Morano joining us now. He asked Matt Eberflus straight to his face, why does the offense suck? No, he didn't do that.
Wasn't that direct, you guys. But, I just wanted to see what Eberflus was thinking in terms of this offense. Obviously, a lot didn't go right against the Browns, but what area, if you could identify one, need to improve heading into this Cardinals game? He said really staying ahead, running the football is a good way to do that, good controlled passing game, and said you could do that through design, execution, manageable third downs, and, not even getting to third down if you're that good of an offense. But the Bears didn't do nearly a good enough job against the Browns of just having success on first down. So look for the Bears to try to find ways to do that against the Cardinals, hopefully on Sunday.
Maybe, Lawrence, he was asked about Luke Getsy today, and he gave his answer about the old Getsaruski. So maybe we can play that, and then Nick, you can give your thoughts of Chris Emma. Shout out to CM, a huge fan of CHGO, who asked him,
Now, you sent me 3.
Yeah,
Which one is this?
Getsy.
23 seconds.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just
Yeah,
a
just
23-second bang here. But Flus was asked directly about good old Luke Getsy and his relationship with him and all that. Whether he thinks he's doing a good job. So this was the Flus on Luke.
I love Luke. He's a great leader. In terms of the room, and then like I said, I'll evaluate everything at the end. We're constantly evaluating things every single day. So today after practice, like normal, we'll meet. We'll talk about this play, that play. Hey, we like this one. Let's try to do it this way, or let's make this correction there. So it's constant communication, like I said, during the course of the week and then into the game.
I love Luke. I love Lamp. We think he might be talking about Luke Stuckmeyer and not Luke Getsy, but we're not sure.
Love Lamp.
What was you're sitting there? Did you believe him there, Nick? And do you read anything to the, we'll figure this out at the whole thing, after the season?
Well, I think at the end of the season, they're definitely going to go into evaluating everything that really hasn't gone right for the Bears season, as they're still looking to try to add a couple more victories here. But I do believe him when he does say that. Obviously these are two guys that are still trying to work on, whatever they need to do to improve this offense. But he was also asked earlier too, Mark, about just a working relationship between the two and kind of what goes into, them making things try to work on Sunday. He says during the week, they go through the first and second down game plan. And Matt Eberflus says he's always interjecting ideas and looking at the overall plan of things, but he just wants to make sure they're on point in terms of protection, the routes, the run game, all those things that you need to be successful for an offense. And he said during the game, it's really the same thing. And on critical downs, they'll meet on the headset. Flus will give him the green light on maybe a 4th down attempt and give his opinion on a certain play, and then overall they need to execute it. But I think when Eberflus says he loves Getsy, I think he truly does. But when he does say the evaluation at the end, it's those are going to be tough conversations because the offense has not played well enough for this team to succeed, and that's really it's not only just on Getsy because again Eberflus does have a little bit of an influence on what the offense looks like on Sunday. But tough conversation ahead for this Bears team.
I mean, maybe we should play that one too. Eberflus and how he communicates with him, Lawrence, because I want everybody to comment on this. Hoge. During the game, he underlines, just listen to the part about how he underlines what's going on in the game when they're making the 4th down calls and how Eberflus seems to me, at least from this clip, that has had more impact than I was thinking that he actually did. I thought this was all Getsy, but apparently the Flus is in there.
During the week, of course, when we're doing 1st and 2nd down, moving through 3rd down into the red zone, I'm always interjecting ideas and looking at the plan and making sure that we're on point in terms of the protections, in terms of the routes, in terms of the run game, and all those areas. And then during the game, same thing. The same thing during critical downs. We'll meet on the headset. Hey, it's a green light here on this 4th and 1 to 4 or 4th and 1 in the quad zone or wherever it might be. What are the plays? He gives me a few plays, that we've already talked about on Saturday of those critical downs. And, I might say, hey, I like that one over this one you feel confident about that? Yes, I feel great about it. And then we go with it. But there's constant communication during the course of the week and constant communication during the game.
I like that one over this one. So who's making the call here?
And I actually appreciate that he's honest and doesn't just push the blame over to Getsy, because we talked about this on the post game. He should not be excused from the blame when we were doing our blame game, talking about these situational play calling. It's not just on the defensive side of the ball. Matt Eberflus, this is on his watch. He is the leader of this team as the head coach. So while Luke Getsy is the one calling the plays, I'm glad he admitted this. But to me, Nick, this is their biggest problem. I think the team is getting better in a lot of different areas, but situational play calling, they don't seem to understand or be on the same page of what they want to do. Beyond the execution, it's to me about what they're deciding what they want to do.
Well, and you look at 2 of those short yard situations, you guys, recently, those plays have not worked on those critical downs that Matt Eberflus was talking about, where he'll speak with Luke Getsy on the headset about. So I wonder, if maybe there needs to be less discussion about that. Right? Because obviously, clearly, those plays are not working, and he is the offensive coordinator for a reason. He knows his offense better than anybody, Luke Getsy, including even Matt Eberflus. So it's an interesting dynamic, but it like you were just saying, Greg, it was nice hearing him just be honest about how that process works.
What do you make of this? People have been talking about this all around the city. All of a sudden, Matt Eberflus is suddenly seemingly taking accountability for things, something we've talked a lot about on this show, about mostly talking about execution throughout the season and not putting it on himself. Now, after the post-game show, he admits the 3rd and 15 was a bad call. Today, he's admitting that he's responsible for some of these offensive play calls. Why do you think that all of a sudden he's being so honest about taking personal accountability for some of the failures?
Why, Greg? Maybe, look, you only have 3 games left, and obviously he was admitting, you only have 3 games left, so maybe it's coming to an end? Who knows? I mean, I think that maybe he's also recognizing what he has been doing probably wasn't the right approach in the first place, and I guess it's never too late to make some changes. But yeah, not really too good of an answer there, Greg, as to why maybe Eberflus is, opening up a little bit in terms of some of the answers, being a little bit more honest about why things haven't worked. I don't know if you guys have seen the McDaniel clip that's been going around on social media where he takes blame for some of the offensive play calls that he took or that he called in the game and basically put it on himself. But, I appreciate that when coaches are that honest and can take blame for things that are clearly not putting the whole entire team in the best position possible. But yeah, it's nice to even see that Eberflus is kind of taking this approach, even though, it's a little late right now.
Well, and that was our question and I think Cole answered it for us one week, is just, does he do that in the team meeting rooms, even if he's not doing it in the press conferences? But now it does seem like he's been doing it more in the press conferences lately. Nick, what's the injury situation here as we update things on Wednesday going into this Christmas Eve game against the Cardinals?
Yeah, and let's start with the biggest one. It's going to be Tevin Jenkins. Right now, guys, he is still in concussion protocol. Obviously, went down early in the game against the Browns and still in that process of trying to get back on the football field. But, yeah, still in the concussion protocol. And also, DeMarcus Walker tweaked his leg against the Browns, and he, Eberflus said in his press conference he will not participate. He would participate in walkthroughs today, but he did have a little bit of a tweak in his leg. So just two injuries on the trenches to kind of monitor here.
So DeMarcus Walker not in the practice part of today, but still doing walkthroughs and maybe still a chance to play by Sunday. All right, Nick, anything else before we let you go?
No, guys, that's about it. We'll hear from Justin Fields later after locker room, so make sure to just tune in to allchgo.com to see what I have written up after that. But I'll let you guys and you two green guys on there continue your discussion there.
I'm genuinely embarrassed for all of us, Nick.
Okay.
Nick, you're the best. Thank you, brother.
There's follow him on Twitter at Nicholas Morano for all the updates at House.
Is El Sue Dude in the chat? Greg, don't forget you tweeted Go Pack Go on Sundays. Is that right?
That is not right. Nobody knows what El Sue Dude is talking about. I would never tweet such a thing. Ever.
If I go back through your Twitter?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's going to take you a while. He tweets like every 4 seconds.
Well,
so there's a lot
all you'd have to do is search my name and those words.
Wow, God, you're good at Twitter.
Too. Go down the timeline, old man, law dog.
Can we rewind back? Just I want to get your thoughts on the Flus.
Completely normal.
Completely
I
normal.
don't have a problem with it at all. If you're a CEO type head coach, you absolutely have those meetings on Saturdays and you will go through what plays you have on your call sheet. Luke Getsy, what do you have for this situation? What's in your quick game portion of your play sheet? What's in the low red area? What's on third down? I like this play over that play. That's the definition for when we go back to when we talked about who the Bears were going to hire as a head coach. We're going to go CEO route. You're going to go offensive route. This is what you get with a CEO type coach. I'm glad Flus is involved in this stuff. He should have a say in it. He is the head coach. And to Braggs' point, he should get some of the blame too when things go wrong, and he should take accountability for it, which it sounds like he's doing. So I got absolutely no issue here whatsoever with the process. This is not Matt Nagy with Vic Fangio as his defensive coordinator. That's a different thing. You're prepping, you're doing your offense, you're basically made Vic Fangio your defensive head coach. And my guess is they still got together on Saturdays and had those conversations anyway. But you stay out of it a little bit more in those situations.
Well, let's pull back a little bit of the psychology curtain that I know sometimes Carm likes to dip into when you read into some of these, quotes coming out of these pressers. So about 4 weeks ago, when he was asked about defensive play calling, and he was like, well, we did really good calling plays against the Saints, and that was me calling the plays. Defensive, trying to stick up for himself. Now here, all of a sudden, this week, he's kind of throwing himself under the bus. To me, reading between the lines of this stuff, that shows me he's getting more comfortable about his job security, that he's willing to put out things that are his fault because he's not worried as much about CYA, cover your ass.
That's an interesting angle because, as he did say there, read whatever you want into it. We'll make those decisions at the end of the year. He's very comfortable that he's going to be making those decisions, or at least he thinks he's going to be making those decisions, which he should think that, because why would he think he's getting fired? Because he's the great Matt Eberflus, and, Flus for life on some level, although today was a rough press conference. I did not enjoy that at all. Hold on.
And you wanted to bring 5 minutes of it to our show.
Yes. Well, 4th and 1, all right? Luke Getsy wants to run whatever, power something. And Flus wants to do something else. You're comfortable with Flus winning that discussion? Is Getsy the offensive coordinator and Getsy and Flus the defensive head coach? I mean, why is he? I'm a little confused as to why he's getting involved so much.
This stuff is way more collaborative than you think it is. It is
but
not.
They're not always going to be on the same page, though.
No, they're not. I've seen that at the high school level plenty of times. But there's a hierarchy for a reason. And if I want to kick the ball left, and Jason McKee says, no, I want to kick the ball right, we're kicking the ball right. And it's not a discussion.
Right. No, I got it.
That's how it works.
Right.
And so,
that's the whole point of having a CEO as a head coach.
And I want my head coach to know exactly why my game plan is this going into the game and why I want to do this. And if he disagrees with all that knowledge and makes the call, then that's the call, and that's okay. And I got to be okay with that too. That's how this works.
I got it, and Luke's got to know that he's the OC and Flus is the head coach and all that type of stuff. I'm just saying, in my ideal world of how the Bears would run with this particular coaching staff, and Flus in his world as, yes, the CEO, but also as the defensive coordinator, a zillion things on his plate.
Well, that is the wrinkle that has changed things this year.
Right. So I'm just saying that I personally would trust, and I get the whole Luke Getsy issues too, smartest guy in the room at times, and is much better coming up with a game plan than maybe adjusting on the fly that Hoge that you underlined yesterday on the show. But I still would rather have Luke Getsy just making all those calls. I would not want the Flus involved.
But you have
everything you've seen from Luke Getsy calling plays.
I would let him stand on it. Then.
But okay, but hold on. Then who do you want calling the timeouts when the offense?
Matt Eberflus.
Well, that's why he has to be engaged in the flow of the game.
Yes.
Like, I sat on the sidelines once when Matt Nagy was the coach, and one of the biggest things that stuck out to me was when the defense
wasn't paying attention.
He wasn't paying attention at all.
Right.
He was over there talking to the offense while the defense is
and not only that, but a play could happen where you need to challenge it, and you're not even watching the game.
And he's not watching the game. So that's why the CEO whole embodiment of the head coach is so important. And if you're going to have a guy on one, you've got to be responsible for both sides of the ball. You cannot be the type of coach that's absolving all consideration and blame into what's going on either side of the ball.
I'm not asking. I'm obviously want him to be paying attention to everything, and sure, but as far as calling offensive plays, I just don't see that as anywhere close to his skill set.
Calling them.
He's
in the moment he's gonna have a say, or what do you want to do here? Here's what I think we should do. There's moments when I was doing Northwestern games, 100%. Fitz would tell the offense coordinator, hey, we're in this 4-minute situation here. We got this lead. Like, let's run the ball here.
Well, and not only that.
And that's completely normal. Let's stick to the run here because we're in this situation.
That's
not different.
Well,
it's a little different. Well, he's not picking the specific run play.
But
like
you're
I'm just wondering.
You're assuming you actually are taking this a little out of context. Unless I'm missing something.
Okay.
Saturday meeting, they're narrowing down their play.
Right, I
you
got
have
it.
1,000 plays in your playbook. You're getting down here, and you're picking A or B, and the
Right.
head coach is saying, "I like A over B."
Right.
It doesn't mean in the moment you have to run this play.
Not to mention,
But he's saying and maybe this is all normal and maybe it's totally fine. He's saying that in the game they're having meetings on the headset. Again, normal. This is what happens. But they're picking between, say, he said 4 plays as to what they're going to do on 4th and 1. I'm just saying that I'd rather have Luke Getsy, as odd as that may sound, making that call than Matt Eberflus. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let's. We got a lot to get to here, and we're running out of time. Yeah. So, first, want to make sure you know about Midtown. They got 4 Chicagoland locations: Palatine in the northwest suburbs, Bannockburn in the North Shore, Willowbrook in the southwest suburbs, and Midtown Athletic Club and Hotel in the middle of Bucktown and Lincoln Park.
I talked to Midtown upper management, and word on the street is that you are dominating Midtown.
Dude, this morning, I crushed this Apex class. It was so good. I've never felt more energized driving down here.
Hoge?
Today.
It's a new Hoge.
It's a new Hoge. Half treadmill. Treadmills are where you run.
You ever heard of a treadmill?
Yeah, I have heard of
I
the
just want to make
treadmill.
sure. Treadmill, and then half on the floor with weights, lunges, squats.
Were you chasing a piece of cheese on that treadmill?
No, but maybe they should have put that on there.
That'd be a good thing. Maybe get you on there. Put some.
Again, I'm not sure you understand what a treadmill is.
I'm just glad
just run. You're not in a wheel like a mouse.
I'm just glad our GM Jake Flanagan walked in so he can fire both of you right now. You know what's going on around here, Jake? He brought in a cheese head.
The Packers
So can we
have to win this
walking
week.
papers?
That's fine. We're in the middle of a Midtown raid. Okay. Okay, he says we can't do it.
Midtown.
See, this is how this works. The head coach said can't root for the Packers this week.
All right, fine.
I'm deferring. That's
I'll
it.
go back to brick by brick.
The fact that you're
good
even
job, buddy.
wearing that
I would
underneath Packer, just the levels
back
of
to brick by brick.
disrespect.
I would take mine off, but I have a yellow shirt on underneath.
Get this off of me.
Hey, anyway,
Stinks.
in all seriousness, go check out the Midtown location near you. You can try a class while you're there, and I'm telling you, this Apex class, if you want to feel good about yourself, go check it out. By the way, Midtown Palatine has launched a multi-million-dollar transformation of their club, which will be complete in early 2024, and listeners can lock in favorable rates if they join before the end of the year. So obviously, we're running out of time there, but check it out. The Midtown is something for everyone, whether you're single, whether you have kids, whether you're just looking to make some lifestyle changes. Midtown is there for you. Check out all their amazing locker rooms. They have outdoor, indoor pools. The outdoor pool in Bannermark is still open. Hot tubs, yoga classes. I did the regen class last week too, which kicked my ass, but it's really good for making your muscles feel a lot better. Mm-hmm. And, of course, for Carman, they have the best tennis courts and programming in the sport. Midtown is indoor, outdoor tennis, pickleball, and paddle tennis, USTA, professional quality all the way. Head over to midtown.com/CHGO. Again, that's your link, midtown.com/CHGO. You can find out more and to tour the Midtown Athletic Club nearest you.
That's right. And to get over some of the atrocities that have taken place today, I'm going to go drown my sorrows with some Goose Island, the Goose Island Beer Company.
Celebrate, buddy.
No, sometimes you need a beer to mourn what you've been through, and today is a morning. CHGO is supported by Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer since
1988.
1988, when Carm was
Don't talk about me.
52 years old.
Don't talk about me in 1988.
You can get an Oktoberfest Beer Hug family, 312 Wheat Ale, full pocket pills. All these beers, you saw people enjoying them at our tailgates all season long.
What happened in 88 in the sports world in this town?
Michael Jeffrey Jordan averaged around 37 points a game.
35, 8, and 8.
35,
won the slam dunk contest, won the MVP, was the best offensive player, was the best defensive player in the league.
Good. So grab yourself an ultra fresh brewery exclusive beers at Goose Island, original brew house from their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
By the way, the Bears are wearing their throwback unis this week with the stripes. 1936.
The white ones?
The white ones with the blue pants. So they're white unis with the stripes, and then the kind of Michigan Wolverine helmet.
Huh.
Just to make sure Jim Harbaugh is paying attention.
Okay, I like that angle.
Yeah.
I like that angle.
So I like those uniforms. So I'm all for those. I like them way better than the orange ones. And so just,
All right, well, let's circle back to this whole, it's the headline of the show. It's really been the spotlight of the show is your guys' decision to wear the Packers green. You brought a freaking cheesehead that I whipped down the stairs.
Is that where it went?
Yeah. I hit the Jordan frame, and I was fully expecting the curse of that cheesehead to break that Jordan frame and have it fall off the wall as I threw it.
That would have been horrible, but also low-key hilarious.
It would have been pretty apropos
I would have died.
The bad mojo that you guys brought into this.
If you broke Jordan, I really would have.
As someone who was here when that
But
was
you guys would have been blamed for it, but it
You
didn't
can say
happen.
whatever you need to say.
didn't happen.
I do want to explain why I have that
Explain.
cheesehead. Why I have it?
Okay, yes.
Because my in-laws are trying to convert my children. So if you want to go on a real rant about this, you should put them towards that. Put all your energy towards that because that's real. This is just a bit we're doing here. This is real life. Remember the Packers they had a Sunday night game a few weeks ago? I got home from work in here. I get home. They're at my house watching the Packers.
All right.
I think they lost that game. No, that was the game they beat the Chiefs. That was even worse. And my kid is wearing the cheesehead
Okay, so
in my house.
I love
That is something to be really angry
I
over.
agree. So I love Krista, but have you threatened divorce?
Well, it's not her fault.
Well, I'm just saying this is
to-
a leverage you can use to get that out of your house is what I'm saying.
Well, no. I'm not going to go that route. If I wanted to, I could prevent them from ever coming in my house.
That's true.
But then I would have
Punishment. That's true. They're not allowed over for Christmas now. They can't see the joy of Christmas with your family now.
because
Punishment.
they did that.
It's a one-day punishment.
The worst part is the Packers won that game.
Make them sit outside and look through the window as they open their gifts.
Okay, I like that.
You've got some leverage options.
Anyway, this was to spin all this. This was my excuse. This was my excuse to get that cheesehead out of my house.
Ooh, good job.
Yes.
Well, it's
So
gone.
now it's no longer
We can
in my
burn it right here on the set if you'd like.
I told my wife there was a 50-50 chance that thing was going to get destroyed here.
You know what?
So.
I mean, we should just to break the bad omen that you brought into here. I mean,
Speaking of
Not a bad
numbers and odds and 50-50s and all that, I did ask our wonderful chat, who is not toxic whatsoever today. I asked him, will you root for the Packers to beat the Panthers on Sunday? And right now it's 59-41. Yes is winning.
It has to be yes.
well, right. That's what
It
I.
has to be yes.
60-40, right?
It's the most important thing for the future of the Chicago Bears
So
franchise.
we can have this honest discussion because there are layers to me as a meatball fan.
Yes.
Got my Meatball Island shirt on. To me, there are layers to this. So, yeah, I do draw the line wearing Packers colors on our Chicago Bears show.
For the record, it's the only green piece of clothing I own.
And it's
Me
more,
too.
and
it's not really green.
And to be fair,
This is like
his
Kelly
was a
green.
and his was a Cubs
green.
Irish jacket, so that was somewhat passable. And yours is more Philly green than it is Packer green. But the cheesehead thing is unforgivable. Regardless, it's unforgivable, Hoge. So, and the graphics are unforgivable. But there are layers to this because we can have the graphics that Lawrence.
I would
put up.
argue that was worse.
That was way worse.
You had no control over that.
Was way worse.
I at least handed the cheesehead to
It
you
was
to see
haunting.
what you were going to do with it.
It was haunting the way it was like chasing me around. Get it off the screen. I'm trying to talk. Okay, I can't do this. But there are layers to this as far as rooting for the Panthers to lose, which means the Packers need to win this week. That is 100% true. Now, if we're going to sit in our honesty bubble here, last year when the Bears played the Packers in December, we were all sitting over there. I think Corey Wooten was even in studio. And I was rooting for the Bears to lose that game.
Whoa!
I was.
Wow.
Because I was dead set on the Bears getting the best pick possible. We really didn't know at that time it could become number 1. But had they beaten the Packers last year, it would have been better for the Packers' future. Because the Bears would not have gotten the number 1 pick.
So you're right.
There are layers, right? Because you were the one like, oh, they got to learn how to win. And I was like, screw that. Lose out. Get the best pick you can. Kevin Kadick, our head of content, when Justin Fields ran for an 80-yard touchdown against the Packers last year, you guys were all cheering. I was still kind of pissed. He was ready to throw me off the balcony for even like having that kind of vibes.
Good take.
Should have done it.
So, yeah, you guys would have been saved a lot of heartache and a lot of long questions, but a lot of long statements like I'm having here right now.
Right.
But I'm totally commandeering this
Cup
segment.
show,
It's
19.
Friday.
I'm
But I still got to
commandeering
get
this
to my
segment.
Caleb Williams tape.
Yes, we
Good
definitely
thing we
I
have
definitely want to get
next
there.
week for that.
So I'm just being honest about this.
I know.
There are layers to this. We do need the Packers to win this week. It is for the best of, like, let them win the battle. We're trying to win the war. But wearing green is where I draw the line.
Okay.
Okay. Is that over now?
Oh, that's
And-
over, yeah.
You know what? You don't care like I care. You don't care like our chat cares. So don't diminish our care.
What?
You care.
No. Can I?
Go ahead.
I want to say that what I do really care about is the Bears getting the first round pick or the first overall pick more than anything. What I also do care about is making the show entertaining, and I think we have accomplished that today.
Yeah.
Car.
Good job. Excellent
swear to
performance.
God.
This is the best.
Lawrence,
And-
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
and-
Get this stupid thing.
I'm actually starting to get a
off
little
of
worried.
my head.
I think you should actually probably stop that because Bragg's.
Yeah, I know. Look, it's just fun to see the veins popping out of all parts of his.
and
He just
Do something, Jake.
he just looked over at Jake like a 5-year-old
You
looking
gonna
at
allow
their
this in
dad.
here? There's no way.
Dad, please make him stop.
yeah.
Oh my God. He's turning on me. He's turning on me. He just said it's Justin Fields' fault, which is poking at me because of our Caleb Williams conversation last night in Slack.
Jake, earmuffs because we're going to talk about Caleb Williams. So last night, because everyone got mad at me because I watched the 2 bad games that Caleb Williams played.
Got a lot of games to watch still.
Yeah, we got a lot of games. We're gonna watch them all. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what led me down this road, but actually I know what it is. Remember when we had Teddy Greenstein in here to talk about his book Quarterback Dads? I'd recommend that book because there's a chapter on Caleb Williams and just his upbringing and why he wanted to become the best quarterback ever and how he wasn't even a quarterback before that. But in there, I had completely forgotten this. It talks about his first game with Oklahoma. He had come in like really brief stints the first few games of the season, but he was not afraid to go to Oklahoma where Spencer Rattler was the quarterback. Not afraid of that competition, which is something I really like about him. And Spencer Rattler, if you remember the 2021 season, was like a Heisman Trophy candidate. And he was struggling. And they were losing this game to Texas, Red River rivalry, 28-7. First play of the second quarter, Lincoln Riley decides to put Caleb Williams in. You know what he does? He runs for a 65-yard touchdown in one play. He should have tackled him. But it was like QB power, breaks a tackle, gone. Now, he doesn't have Justin Fields' straight line
He's got
speed,
sneaky speed.
but he can run, and he can break tackles. Even though he's not 6'4", he's still built really well. So then they put Rattler back in the game because I don't know if they were just trying one play or if they were going to give him a series or whatever, but they put Rattler back in the game. He turns the ball over again. He's just rattled. He's literally like
He's rattled.
Rattler was rattled, and it's that bad, and they're getting killed. And Caleb Williams comes in. It's his game the rest of the way. This is still mid-second quarter. They're down, I forget what it was, but they were still down 18 going into the fourth quarter. And he is just spraying the ball all over the field. I mean, quick release, unbelievable NFL throws, layered throws, incompletions that were actually impressive. Like impressive incompletions where you can tell the receivers were like, oh, we need to run this route faster because this guy can actually get it there on time and quicker. And they were you could see the receivers. And by the way, Marvin Mims Jr. was on that team. He's one of the receivers, and they instantly seem to have a connection. So when I watched those 2 games that I did from this season, Notre Dame and Utah, and again, I didn't watch those games because they were his worst games. I asked NFL personnel guys, what are the 2 games that were his toughest tests? It's going to simulate the NFL as much as possible. And I guess that's the concern, that he struggled in those games this year, and that's fair. But by the criteria that Ryan Poles is inevitably going to have here if he's going to make this quarterback decision and move away from Justin Fields, the idea of being blown away. I was not blown away against Utah. I was not blown away against Notre Dame. I was impressed by plenty. I was also concerned by plenty. There's a lot more games to watch in this evaluation, so no conclusions are done. But this game I watched last night against Texas, and I get it was 2 years ago, unbelievable. I mean, I was blown away watching this tape. And if that's the guy when the whole sample size is done, and that's overwhelmingly what it is, I will give him a pass for Notre Dame and Utah. Because I'm sorry, there's too many throws on this tape I watched last night that Justin Fields just doesn't make with that timing and that accuracy and that rhythm. And this is his first ever college game. It's huge rivalry. Could not be a bigger stage for him to come in. And he just takes over the game. And oh, by the way, they win. They come all the way back and they win.
Yep, and that's why you say, oh, well, it was 2. I get it. It was 2 years ago. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, the Bears drafted Mitch Trubisky based off 13 games. This guy has been on a big stage for years now. And all this, the resume is going to build up. The tape, everyone's going to sift through. It's not just the highlight reel throws. To your point, the incompletions. I've watched almost all of his games this year. It's the same story. You're going to see it the more games you watch, both of you guys. The incompletions at times are almost more impressive than the ones that make the highlight reel. So there's a lot to be intrigued about. He's going number 1, so the Bears have to have the number 1 pick for this to even be a discussion. But, our chat, they've been talking about it all day. It's just the constant conversation we have here on these shows. It's not going away, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is the real deal. There's a reason why he's a hyped up prospect. Everybody goes, well, generational gets thrown around by all these fans. You know who the person that sparked the generational comment? It was Sean Payton in the offseason. Sean Payton called him generational. And that's why everyone has taken that quote and ran with it. But there's a reason that Sean Payton felt that way. And he was talking about how teams were going to actively try to tank for a player of this caliber because of the tape he saw last year. And so to me, the hype train is only going to grow for Caleb Williams.
Just one message to outstanding Bears fans everywhere who have been pouring their heart and soul into Justin Fields and wanting him to be successful because the Bears traded up and because Justin is a first-class dude and because there's really literally not one thing not to like about Justin as a human being, and also his elite talent as far as running the football and making plays that we've not seen by many ever in a Bears uniform, even across the NFL history. Going at Caleb Williams and wanting him to fail, that's just not a good plan. I'm sorry. You don't want to be living your Bears life hating on Caleb Williams if the Bears go down that road.
It's ridiculous. I see some fans even here in the chat today saying, I'm going to laugh when he comes here and he sucks and is crying to his mom. You sound ridiculous. I get it. You want to be a Fields fanboy or fangirl, go for it. I root for Justin Fields. I have no issue if whoever is the coach, if Jim Harbaugh comes here and says, I want to keep Justin Fields, I'm rolling with that plan. If Ryan Poles says, I'm keeping Matt Eberflus, I'm keeping Justin Fields, and I'm going to trade that pick back, I'm rolling with that plan. But I'm not a Fields fanboy to the point that I'm going to denigrate Caleb Williams just to try to make my point of why we should keep Justin Fields. There's intrigue. Somebody in the chat is like, quit saying you're intrigue. There is intrigue in different scenarios, but don't try to tell me that there isn't intrigue in Caleb Williams being a Bear.
And I also don't want to tell you how to fan.
But you just did.
But I just did.
I'll fucking do it.
And to bring this full circle on the crying thing, the other interesting thing that was in Teddy's book was him crying was the moment he decided he was 11 years old and he was playing running back and they lose this game and didn't play basically, and he decided right then and there. She's crying after the game, and his dad's like, "I've never seen this kid cry. I've seen him cry like twice his entire life." And he's crying over a loss, and he said right there, "I want to be a quarterback." So if the thing he's crying about and getting emotional about is football, I'll take that. I want a guy who cares that much about football.
The other aspect, when Carm, you asked Baldy about will he be able to handle the pressure in Chicago, and that's a real thing. It's
that I am worried about.
Well, it's a serious pressure because, to your point, to replace Justin Fields here, a beloved quarterback in the city who people still want to be the quarterback next year, that's a tall order of pressure on top of just the Chicago fan and media pressure that comes with the job here to be quarterback and how many busts have been through this city at that position. But at the same time, he's been in the spotlight now. He won the Heisman, and then this year, he hasn't had a great year. He's had moments where he hasn't looked great, and that, to me, is something where he's had to face pressure, face criticism, and those are some of the things that he's going to have to be ready for here in Chicago as well.
Real men show their emotions. It's part of the new model of manhood. Don't be afraid of it, or actually be afraid of it. It is scary, but get those emotions out there. It's good for you. Also, get fitted out in the best sports gear around. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. It's baseball season. No, it's not. But, it could be someday.
I can't believe you actually read that.
I can't believe
Although it would be nice if it got updated.
Yeah, sure. I don't know why I read it. It's right on. These things happen. All right. It's football season. Aloha shirts, straw hats, polos, bags, everything you need for a game. Our set decorations, Foco has donated a few awesome pieces, which we have always appreciated. So, listen, they got all the things that you need to up your life. Check out Foco.com. Click the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO10 for 10% off.
Hey, our partner Ray Chevrolet is having their biggest sale of the year right now. Make your way to Ray Chevrolet and Route 12 in Fox Lake to join in on the savings for their model year-end sales event. As one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. But right now, they're trying to make room for incoming 2024 models, so all their current inventory must go. Plus, you can find the perfect tailgate vehicle at Ray Chevy because they have over 100 new Silverados in stock. And that's not all. Get 0% financing with $0 down and 0 payments until spring 2024. Or save over $3,000 on a new Chevy Blazer, $4,000 on an Equinox, or over $10,000 on a Silverado. I miss my Silverado. It's a great truck. And to top it all off, they're pricing over 125 vehicles under $20,000. So they got something for everyone. Seriously, guys, can pricing get more affordable? I know everyone loves the word free. You guys like free? I like free. Who doesn't like free? That's what you get. Free. Morano loves free. This is what you get this month at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. A free oil change. All you need to do is mention code CHGO when scheduling your oil change online or on the phone. That's right. You can do it online, on the phone. Just say CHGO. You'll have your oil change for free. You better hurry. This exclusive offer ends December 31st, 2023. Get those oil changes in before your long road trip, wherever you're going, maybe this holiday season. Visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com to get your model year-end savings. They've been serving the community since 1963. Find new roads. Also, if you happen to be in fantasy football playoffs this weekend, Ray Scarpelli, be on the lookout for our Fantasy Fuel Up video, courtesy of Ray Auto Group, which will be on the feed here a little bit later. Actually, probably be tomorrow, but we're recording it later today. So he'll get you all set for your fantasy playoffs as well. A lot of super chats. We got to do a line change to get the Cubs show in here. Brendan Henderson, $5. As far as college QB prospects, where do you rank him between Burrow, Lawrence, etc.?
Good question.
Great question. Have not gotten far enough to be able to tell you that. My guess right now, without doing too much thought, I think I like him more than Trevor. Joe Burrow was like top of the line for me when he came out. Like his senior tape was just flawless.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
I was at that championship game sitting next to Jay Cutler in New Orleans. They were both incredible, and Burrow was better.
And you didn't have the balls to talk shit to Jay.
You say Burrow was better than
Lawrence in that game, but they were both really good, man.
Yeah, well, they had Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase as their wide
Chris Piguero, $20. If the Packers losing can mean Justin Fields is here next year, it is a risk I'm willing to take.
Thank you.
You have no okay. Total Malarkey, $10. See, we can bring you out of misery sooner or later. Go, Pack, go.
See what you guys have done.
Take that, Braggs.
We got a Packer fan to spend $10 on a Bears show. We are brilliant, is what we are.
Bow down to us right now.
Tito, $10. The goal is to win a Super Bowl. How many number one picks have won a Super Bowl? You need to build a roster around Fields. As for his rookie contract, how many years have we had QBs on rookie contracts? How has that worked?
Yeah, well,
That
Also had Jay
it's
Cutler.
about having the right rookie on that rookie contract.
Patrick Mahomes on a rookie contract was sweet.
Total Malarkey, $10. My favorite
Wilson,
cheese is
Joe
Swiss because it reminds me of teams Joe. Oh, my team's Joe Barry defense. Hashtag fire Joe Barry. See, now we got a Packer fan talking shit about his own team. British Bear.
Brilliant.
Phil.
Yeah, Braggs.
5 pounds sterling. Love you guys. I'm with Braggs. Only wear Bears colors. Let's get on the Bears platypus train.
Don't know what that means.
Win out and believe. Hashtag Go Bears.
8%,
Thank you, British Bear.
8% chance.
Another 5. Jim Harbaugh and Justin Fields scenario. Can we make the playoffs? Can we win a Super Bowl with this? What does your gut say? Super Bowl is what it says. Get the number one pick. Win the Super Bowl next year. Chris, $5. You mean to tell me in the fourth quarter when the lights shine the brightest, the defense play calling and QB play get worse? That's unacceptable. I think that's been a problem this year.
Chris, you nailed it.
Mr. X Outlaw, $5. Been thinking about this for a while. Why don't we go the Lamar route with JF1, pick up the 5th year, tell him if he balls out, he's in for a huge playoff.
If they are sticking with Justin, that's the route I think they'll go.
Dylan, $5. Do you think the Bears could trade the number one pick to Seattle or Vegas for 3 firsts? Would you rather have JF1 and the picks or Caleb May?
We will talk about that.
Yes. We will. Dylan.
There's going to be a lot of people that want to come up, Dylan.
Dylan, we'll have that conversation for the next 5 months, I promise. Saucy 8 Trash, $5. Dream scenario, Justin Herbert requests a trade from the Chargers. Poles trades the first pick plus more for him. Super Bowl 2024. Love the show.
Would love to deal with the Chargers.
I think I'd rather have Caleb Williams in that scenario, though.
You know me. Justin Herbert will never win a Super Bowl. I will mark that down.
Justin, $500. Reaper,
I take Justin Herbert in a second.
$5. You cheer for the Panthers to lose, not the Pack to win. Loophole. In a way to be true, Braggs. The rest of you, I love you, just not today.
Not today.
Drew Black, $5. Flus needed a $100 million defensive end, $75+ million in linebackers, top 5 corner, multiple second-round picks for his defense to become productive. How has he saved his job?
That's an interesting underline by you,
Fair
Drew.
point, but all coaches need players. Players make plays. But it is a fair point that a lot of this turnaround has been the players. D. Shumack, $27, $5. Agreed, Baldy. Pretty traders move. Hoge and Carm. Appreciate you, Braggs. Philip, $2.
My guy.
Here's a shocker. Carm with another bad take.
Busy Tola.
And Brandon, $5. Happy holidays, fellas. I hope it's a wonderful week. Couple
you,
weeks
Brandon.
for you and all your families.
Appreciate the positivity.
Back at you, Brandon.
Some of the toxicity in our chat. It is nice to see someone bring some positivity.
Yes, thank you very much, Brandon.
Brandon, if you could take over for Pizzy Tola, I'd appreciate it.
Well, we're not really going anywhere. I think we're taking Christmas Day off and New Year's Day off, and that's it. Otherwise, we're going to keep it rolling here. Bears season's still
we
going.
Don't stop.
I used to take the month of December off before I took this job, but I love you guys so much that I just love working through the holidays. Nobody's on the road. Nobody's working everywhere, but I love coming in here to see you guys.
All right, guys. It's time for the Cubs show to start.
Bye.
We're going to do a line change. We're going to get CHGO Cubs in here. We appreciate you very much. Please like the show. Please hit subscribe. Please send it to a friend. We'll be back tomorrow.
Here's to you,
Sorry
men in
for-
blue. You're the...
We all silly like the mayor.